Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. So today I'm going to try to do a voiceover, and you guys can let me know if you like it or not down below. So today we were at PetSmart to do training. I was completely by myself with Navi, and as you'll see, he's quite distracted in this video today, but we're working on that. So right now we're going to walk over and figure out how much he weighs, since it's been a while since I weighed him. And as you'll notice later on in the video, and even here a little bit, I broke my toe, which is the black brace on my foot. And so I step on Navi's toes a few times, and it was a wonderful day for us. So here he is. I'm going to ask him to sit, then get a treat, and ask him to get up onto the scale. We've done this many times. He does really well with it. And it was really awesome to figure out that he just broke 60 pounds. We've been waiting for this. I'm expecting him to be a much bigger Malinois than most of them are. And then I asked him to get off, backed into heel, and then we turned around to go back to the toy section, which is where I usually train. We did ask if we could train today, and the workers were totally fine with it. But, because I usually train off leash. Well, not really off leash, but he has a short leash on, not the long one. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll get back to it once we roll the intro. Alright, so I'm back. I was asking Navi to wait while I set up the camera against a toy so that you could have a good enough angle. And I'm sorry if we get some bad angles in this. It's kind of hard to do. But right here I'm basically just starting to let him know that I'm going to ask him to work his mind and set down my bag. And we're also trying a new prong, so I take off a prong later on, but you can't see me do it because it keeps sliding. And then off of with the hands-free leash, and ask him to follow me. Sit. Wait. He also has been sucking with late in this video, just so you know, but we work on it. And then there's his scooting forward and his down. And he did it again. I also say stop if I notice he's moving forward, which is when my hand goes out. I'm asking him to stop. And then, yep, this is where he starts messing up with the not waiting. And I usually try to put him right back to where I had him. And then we're also working on him waiting while he's standing, which is, for some reason, one of the bigger challenges of his, because I normally ask him to wait when he's sitting or laying down. I also didn't notice how far I got away. We definitely get closer later because I noticed it. Ask for heel, and then we walk. If you notice, I bend my knee when I ask for heel, and that's just to avoid him stepping on my broken toe, because it's really painful. We did do this for a while, so sorry if it's a little bit boring. Again, I didn't ask him to move. A lot of the problems with that is I forget to say wait before I start moving, so he thinks he's supposed to follow me. And then back into heel. It's around here, I think, when I notice that he is where we are really far away from the camera. When I notice that he doesn't like really waiting when I go too far away, I do stop going as far before extending. And here's one of the things that he messes up on, because I usually will go to his side and then ask him to follow me, but which I wasn't doing this time, but I've never done this type of practice before. Again, didn't ask him to get up. They can be brats sometimes if you know anything about a Malinois. And I rewarded him here for not getting up, and then asked him to stand and follow me. Which, in his case, would just mean me saying heel. Also, I want to point out that throughout this part right here, his focus was amazing, and I was very happy with it. Yeah, he tried to follow me there too, but I had said wait, which wasn't his fault, and then he got in trouble for following me. Also, just so everyone's sure, I make sure to be very careful since I'm not quick to be able to grab him, but he's also amazing off leash, so it's one of the reasons I don't worry too much about it. Right here, I'm just asking him to wait while I walk past him, and then asking him to come closer to the camera so that you guys can see him better. And he used to struggle with this part a lot when he was a little bit younger, and it was me placing him in a down and then walking the other way so I was behind him, so he would turn to face me. But, so when I realized he was struggling with it again, we started working on it again. And also, hello Navi. Thank you for getting so close. Right there, I did ask him to turn around though. Oh, right there, I totally missed it, sorry. I asked him for an alert where I start hyperventilating and he's supposed to jump up and hit my chest. And then the next alert in a little bit is an anxiety alert where I start bouncing my leg and he is to touch my leg, as it's named, once I can get him to wait. Sorry if this is boring, guys. I wanted to try and give it a shot and see if anybody liked it. If not, I'll just keep it the normal way. And also my sister's keys were bothering me, so I had to take them off. Fun fact, I lost the back to the keys right there and had to go back and get them later on. He's also not been doing very well with this alert, and I'm sure it's just because we haven't been practicing it very much due to my health. But he did do wonderful right there for another alert to my hyperventilating. And hyperventilating for me will go both ways, from a panic attack to my cardiac problems. And it's just, for the cardiac, it's just if he misses the alert that he's supposed to get. Butt curls for days, guys. They're so cute. And sit down, wait. I think this is where we do the bouncing knee. Yep, right here. And he didn't get the cue right away. I'm sure it's just from not practicing it. And also after every alert, I ask him to go right into heel. We don't practice DPT in this video, which I probably should have, but I usually like to practice DPT in other places, also at Dog Walk Past, and I ended up having to cut the video a little bit because he started misbehaving and I had to get control of him and not be focused on the camera. And it's not that he wanted to do anything to the dog just to go and meet him, but obviously, as people know, he's not allowed. And then this is a self-harm disruption where you claw at your leg. And he does the same thing, he's bouncing the knee, he's supposed to hit my hand. I was happy because I thought that I had got his focus right back on, but he ends up breaking it again. Again, sucking with weight today. He's normally really good with it, as you've seen in the past, but I don't know if he was just tired today, or I'm not sure. It might be because we haven't gone out for a little bit. And right there, I was getting ready to ask for something, but he got up and moved, so I placed him back to where he was supposed to be. Not nearly as far back as he was supposed to be. And then the dog walked past again. I'm pretty sure that this person kept purposely walking their dog past. which was a little bit aggravating, but it's one of the reasons I decided to train in a pet store today. Is he's been getting excited around other dogs, and I want to work on that a little bit. And here's where I couldn't get his focus back on me. So I had to cut the video right there. Sorry about that. I'm sure you would have loved to see my boy actually not being a good boy. And now I'm holding onto the leash because what he actually tried to do was walk away from me to go follow the dog, and he's never done that before, so I ended up actually putting on his hands-free leash. But while the camera was off, I started working really hard to get his brain back into focus, and it worked. He's also been doing really well with Leave It, where if I accidentally try to hand him a treat and he drops it onto the floor, he will look at the treat and then make eye contact with me, knowing that he cannot take the treat off the ground. We're just doing heel, and every time he's turning his head to look at me, or turning his head, that is to look at me, his eyes go right up, even though it's hard to tell. And also, yes, I know there's a treat in front of there. I saw it in the camera and realized that it was there, and then decided to use it to my advantage to see if he would ever take it, which he never does. I ended up picking it up later. And then I put back on his lead because I need to be able to move away from him. And if he walks away from me again, I can step on the leash and have much better control. Checking out the camera. Right there was another hyperventilating alert, which even though he was distracted, you could see the second he hears me hyperventilate, he's right on it. It is definitely one of his favorite tasks. We also work on what I demonstrated in one of my previous videos. We work on tuck soon. I mean, not tuck, sorry, block. And right there, I had realized the treat was there and decided to see if he would even notice it, which he never even acknowledges it. We definitely need to work on our waiting more often. But as of right now, he's only 8 months old, and even he's going to make mistakes, so. The only reason I don't work with that leash on usually is because he'll step on it, and he usually thinks he's getting a correction for doing something I asked him to do when he isn't, if he steps on it, because of the prong collar. So that's usually why I keep that off, but since he was misbehaving today, I wanted to be sure that I was able to get in control of him if he tried to get away, which he never does again. Also, don't judge me for taking off my shoe. My body was overheating. It was very hot in there, which is why Navi was panting as well. Sorry guys, this is the first voiceover I've ever done. Right there, he got up to follow me. Sometimes I can get him before he's officially moved, which is the best, obviously, because then I can stop the behavior before it carries on. I think that's one of the reasons today was so bad, is I couldn't stop it before it carried on. And here I was asking him to heel from behind, which I had expected him to go in front of me, but he didn't. And then we started working on block, which he started moving his body way too far away, so I would just send him back to heel and try again. And that was the block I was looking for. He's much closer to my legs, even if it's hard to tell. But at one point, he wasn't close enough. I actually grabbed him and moved him into where he should be, which I realized later on that I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have just redirected him to where he should have been, but, you know. And we work on 2 different types of heels after doing block, which is one you'll see where he goes behind me, which is kind of a pain when the leash is wrapping around my feet, and then the other one's where he just backs up, either that or he turns around in front of me and then goes into heel. Yeah, this is where I moved him, which you could tell he was very confused, which honestly probably set him back in this because it's so new, but he gets it. He understands. I decided to work on this for a while since it's one of his newest tasks, I guess. And that was the other type of heel. It's where he just goes back. He knows from where I point my hand when I say heel. And right there I'm not putting any pressure, but just making it so like my hand is like a block so he can't go any farther ahead of me. As you see, I'm putting very light pressure there, but even if it was unnecessary, I think it actually helped him understand that, oh, I'm not supposed to move any farther away from this. I believe right here we stopped messing with that. I didn't want to train for him for too long today. I usually do about 30-minute sessions. And right here I've done in one of my previous videos as well, where I put a trail of toys in line and then have him walk with me in between them, especially stuffy toys where he's extremely obsessed with them. So then I pick up the camera and move it so you have a better view of it. And as you can see, he stayed where I asked him to, which was really good, which is why I rewarded him. And I also put on the leash so that I didn't end up stepping on it, not that it would matter. He also knows turn, which is where he turns with me, which is just, using that, it keeps his focus on me, if that makes any sense. This is kind of supposed to be like a training helping video, but definitely probably a more advanced one. I was also extremely impressed with his focus on this, and he started walking right over top of the toys, and then I decided to challenge him even more and ask him to stop over top of them in a minute. It would make him more tempting, and he just did wonderful. He really surprised me. Sometimes he's not as good, and other times he's just amazing at it. See, even with it touching his feet, it doesn't faze him. And right there I asked him to stop, and he did stop, but he stepped to the side. And this one, he just stayed right where I asked him to. Normally when he stops, he's supposed to sit down, but because the toy's right in between his legs, he wasn't comfortable with it, so I didn't really worry too much about it. And I did do it over top of every single toy. This was the only one he sat down on because it was much smaller. And now you get to watch me pick up the toys while he waits. This wait was probably the best of today. He stayed right there. He did end up laying down and putting his head down. He was getting quite tired. But I was super impressed, so he actually got bonus points after I was finished picking up the toys. I'm a responsible owner. If I'm going to take something out, it's going to be put back. I also grabbed my own stuff, like my shoe, my bag, my keys, because we were getting ready to end the video, because even though I trained for longer than this, I was going to be walking around people and stuff to work on some of his confidence building. See, right there's where he laid down, which is fine as long as he does not break the spot I put him in. And I actually triple rewarded him for doing that, because it's a really good settle we've been working on, which I'll show you again in a minute, where I asked him for head down, and he places his head down on the ground. I turn him around so you can see him do it a few times. He leaned into my hand to get pets. And right there, head down. He just drops his head. I don't really worry if he pulls his head back up for the treat. Then head down again. He's really good at this one. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed our video. There's a little slow motion shot of me calling him over to me. I hope you like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you would like to see. Thank you for watching our video today. Goodbye.